Khan, hey, Shalom, Shalom, Akiyam. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Chodash. I would also like to give a double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. I would also like to say peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 men of Israel, which consists of the servants, the prophets, whom have been ordained since the foundations of this earth to sing this new song, which comes in the form of this gospel, which would be preached throughout all four corners of this earth and rest upon the ears of the innumerable multitude, men, women, and children of Israel, who may be scattered throughout all four corners of this earth. Shalom. Hey, Shalom, beloved Akiyam and Akwath. Let's just buy on back again. Through the spirit, power, mercy, and grace of our power, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And I just want to touch briefly, very briefly, on the Genesis mission, all right, that Trump has initiated, which ultimately evolves around this technological stance they're taking, pretty much creating a system where the world is operating off of technology. All right, I have another piece of information as well from Redacted. All right, going into a whistleblower by the name of James Martinez. All right, and he used to be part of the CIA, Slovakia, via MK Ultra. All right, so he's tied in. You know, he has inside scoop information. All right, and it's heavy because as we're gonna play the video, it's probably gonna play about 10 minutes of it. All right, listen very closely to what he's saying. All right, it's very heavy what he's tapping into, and ultimately, you know, it's nothing different from what the elders and apostles of Great Millstone on down have already been warning. You Jacob, through this testimony that we hold. All right, we know what Esau is pursuing. Okay, this testimony, all right, which is the spirit of our Lord Yahweh Shai, right? The testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai is the spirit of the prophecy. We know exactly what Esau is doing prophetically. It's all prophet. Everything he's doing, he's moving to the beat of the drum of prophecy. You see, so those of us that have been gifted, with the ability to see, all right, which that would be possible through the Holy Spirit, we know exactly what's coming down the road. All right, one of our beloved forefathers, Daniel, he was told what? He was told that knowledge would increase. And I was talking to the future. Matter of fact, let me open up with that real quick. Because we're in that time. All right, we're in a time where knowledge, all right, in the form of science, right, technology, it's gone to the next level. All right, to now where Esau's on the move to link, AI, the quantum, your brain on one system. You see? Because now he's been granted access to the technology to make that possible. In efforts to bring forth the most evil times ever that the scriptures highlight. Right? Daniel 12 in verse 4, and it reads, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end." All right? And we are at the end, and through our Lord Yahweh Shai, the seals have been loose, man. And now all these deep, heavy prophetic secrets, okay, have been revealed. All right? But not to everybody. Okay? Only to those of the initiated. Okay? Those that have been blessed with eyes to see and ears to hear. Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. All right? And this is where we are. We're at the time where knowledge has reached its climax. All right, and Esau's gonna take his leap of fate. All right, Evil E's gonna take his leap of fate. The Wadi Hawabashi Miao Shai, all right, for allowing us to witness the very end, of our enemies, man. The Wadi Hawabashi Miao Shai for that, because see, we know what this entails. We understand that this is gonna conjure up Esau's end. As much as he thinks, as much as technologically advanced Edomite thinks that, this is their stance to, be able to pursue their leadership role, on the world stage. Contrary to what they may be thinking, this is actually signifying their end. All right, because these things would happen at the end. Okay, Esau will bring forth a technology pursuing the Revelations 13:16. All right, the MOTB, the microchip, the mark of the beast, and ultimately that will usher forth his end. You see? But needless to say, hey, let's do this. Let's go to let's go here real quick. I'm just flowing, I'm just flowing through the spirit. What I'm gonna do, I want to get this article real quick first. I had it, but I ended up losing it. But I think I can find it real quick. I had it from a specific source, but it's all good. Let me see. Let's go to let's get it from here. I had it from a different source, but it's all good. Now, this is from, let's see here, Scientific American. All right. It's dated November 25th, 2025. The title reads, U.S. launches Apollo-style mission to harness AI and big data for scientific discovery. And this is talking to that Genesis mission. All right. And let me just shed light on the Apollo mission back in 1969. The shit never happened. All right. Let's just make that clear. All right. Esau never went to the moon. He never made it. All right. He was in Studio 666 on Hollywood Boulevard. All right. With your boy Armstrong on a behind the green screen or what have you. with the flag with the flag blown. All right. That was all a farce. If you didn't know that, now you know. All right. But let me see here. Oh, and real quick, they named this thing, right? They named this let me see here. They named this initiative, let me get this real quick. As you walk here, I'm not quite aware of. They named it Genesis Mission, right? So now we know, bear with me. Now we know Genesis means the beginning. But let's dig a little deeper. Check this out. And when you get Genesis in a noun, right? It says this. Now this is the etymology of the word Genesis. Right? Latin Genesis, generation, nativity. Right? Origin, creation. Look at to be born. All right? Related to genos, race, birth, descent. Check this out. Give birth. Okay? Beget. All right? So they named this thing the Genesis Initiative, the Genesis Mission, man. So what they're in the process of doing is giving birth, okay, to this new technological, diabolical system. This is what they're in the process of doing, all right? And only if the masses knew what it truly entails. Okay, because how Esau's dressing it up, it evolves around supplying Americans with affordable, reliable energy. It'll help secure the infrastructure, all right, and national security. This is how he's dressing this thing up. We got a video. Again, I'm gonna share with you, beloved Aki Amanakwa. Now, what they're doing is they're building the infrastructure, man, for this new digital world. Okay, that they're in the process of bringing forth, which ultimately, okay, you're no longer organic. You see what this nigga's about to do? All right, then this nigga Yuval Noah Harari said that humans are now hackable animals, bro. All right, through that NANO technology, I'm gonna spell it one more time. NANO technology via the kill shot. All right, he's able to communicate with individuals. I'm trying to speak in layman terms, where he can control you, because now he can tap in, because we're made up of electricity, you know. So when he linked you in with that NANO, now he can control you like a RC car, like a remote control car, man. All right, and Esau's going deep with this wickedness, man. All right, let's go back to the article. Now again, this is not the original article I had. It's gonna have the same similar information. Let's just read into a little bit of this. Right, on Monday, President Donald Trump signed an executive order aimed at accelerating science using artificial intelligence, AI, which is again their god. AI is their god is going to be the god of their system that they're bringing forth. All right, an effort dubbed the Genesis mission. The order frames the race for global technological dominance in AI as comparable in urgency and ambition to the Manhattan Project, referring to the development of the atomic bomb during World War II. The order comes at a moment when federal agencies have seen massive cuts to research grants and funding, and Trump's order does not set out a defined budget for Genesis. National security, scientific discovery, and energy innovation are all highlighted as top priorities in the order, you see? So there's how Esau is dressing it up, you know? But in reality, no. There's a deep, dark, diabolical mission truly at hand. And Yahweh Bashim Shai is so beautiful, he's so powerful, all right, that he's making their own tongues. Let me go get that real quick before we get the video. Because I honestly, I'm running behind. Salaki Aki Aminakwa. I really want to get this video shown to you. So I'm going to have to go to the video now. What's that? Psalm 64. This tablet's about to die on me at about 26%. This morning was not my morning. But you Aki Aminakwa know how it goes. I'm a little under the weather, you know. So it is what it is. We still got to go. We still got to get it in. Psalm 64 and verse 8. And it reads, so they who, the secret counsel of the wicked, right? Evil E. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. How? Through whistleblowers, individuals that were working closely and intimately in this man's system, all right? The Lord's gonna put the spirit on them to leak out. Watch. All that see them shall flee away. Okay? We're witnessing individuals that were once tight-knit, all right, getting promotions, leading the charge, right? And these diabolical projects leaking out. The Lord put the spirit on them. Boop. And now they're on redacted or other sources of information, or news rather, bringing out information. But I do want to shed light on this. They're honestly, at the end of the day, really, it's controlled opposition. All right, and we know this. You see, the Lord put us on game. We know and understand that at the end of the day, truly, it's controlled opposition. All right, because at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, when they're asked who's the source of the problem, They never get down to the root of the problem, right? They leave the source as these three-letter agencies or some from some chain of government. No, it goes well beyond and above that, and we know that. All right, it goes back to who? The secret council of the wicked. All right, the global elite. Now let's play this real quick. Now this is fair use, fair use. Bear with me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna close this tab out and just get it here. All right, this is fair use, fair use. I'm not making any monetary gain. All right, off of this clip. All right, this is a public clip from Redacted. All right, fair use. This is for educational purposes only. And yeah, he says some stuff that in the times past, man, Evil E would have wiped your page out. You know, but we're gonna play it through the spirit. You know, because you know we're in a time now where Esau thinks he's slipping behind the scenes, so he's not really coming down as hard with certain words that are being used. So we're gonna let it ride. All right, bear with me. Bring this on back to here, and we're gonna let this ride. Now again, this is James Martinez, whistleblower. All right, ex-CIA, MK Ultra executive, not executive. He was on the executive board though. He was up there. Check this out.
Involved. Colonel Tom Bearden was involved. Walter Bowe was involved. I was involved.
He's letting it leak.
With psychiatrists and psychologists because they were terrified because a lot of their clients had been abused in various programs and they became clients. So we were looking at all the neuroscience and the effects of the neuroscience on culture in the United States. So this is what's going on behind the scenes, unbeknownst to basically everybody. The behavior.
What years are we talking about here?
This was
talking about the MK Ultra program going from the 1950s to the 1970s, but of course, we've done interviews on this show where it got people think it ended in the 70s, but it became even more robust.
We're in it. We're in it right now, which is the reason why I'm coming out and telling everybody now, because there's been movies, media, people have been talking about this, what we did all over the place. People can handle it now, but what they can't handle and maybe not be able to handle is the reason why I'm doing this interview in the first place and why I was put in touch with you, because I was given a lot of people to talk to, and you were on the list because initially when the 501c3 was set up, it was a nonprofit foundation to educate the public about how important it is to maintain our cognitive liberty. This supersedes the Constitution, law, everything, right? It's your right to have your own thoughts. And as an attorney and people associated with law, they're kind of getting acquainted with this now and what this is going to mean to human rights. So to the point reason I came here to talk to you is because recently I was asked to be the chief advisor on a committee related to the brain-computer interface and its relation to the international standards for technology. That basically is they're a group of countries all over the world, and they all have committees that represent their country. Those committees determine what the standards are going to be for technology when it's commercialized and goes all over the world.
Hold on, Liz, you heard that? Now, each country has a committee that's delegating their technology. Why do you think that is? Revelations 3:10. That our temptation is going to come upon the whole world. This is a universal transition. It's not going to just be in Babylon the Great or over there in England or over there in Africa. No. See what they're doing over there in Africa with them they're chipping all the babies now? Hey, that's going to be a worldwide thing. That's all testing. That's all they're testing the waters. And, you know, Esau's using the world as a test, as a lab. You know, and he's using certain sections of the earth where he uses as testing grounds. Is what he's doing. But you heard that. I just want to highlight that real quick. I'm gonna let the video play. I just want to highlight that real quick. All right. Each country has its own AI committee, pretty much. You see, because they're all on the same team. China and America are not on no race to who's gonna be technologically alpha. No, man, they're all on the same team. They're all pushing for the same goal. And at the end of the day, it's the elite controlling the show. These presidents and all these other cats that are leading these countries, they're just all puppets. But anyways, I'm gonna let it ride.
For instance, the phone or a toaster or whatever, it's got to meet certain safety standards and all this type of stuff. These committees are determining public policy about what's going to happen when you interface the brain, the computer, AI, and quantum. That's going to end everything. Period. It's the end. It's the initiation of the decapitation of our relationship to God. Will become cybernetic. Will become, instead of carbon, will be silicon-based life forms, cybernetics, and they're going to do this via voluntary compliance. Most people will walk right into it, not even knowing that they're doing it or want to do it, because there's portions of the population all over the world, in the younger generations, that feel that humanity has no hope at all, and they're going to fuse with this technology already. So the brain-computer interface, it's tied in to everything. All our warfare systems, all our banking systems, all our health systems, all in the ways we do commerce and move about in culture. This is the extinction level event, because you no longer are an organic, free will human being. You're now fused, tied into the cloud. And there's a documentary film crew that's recently contacted me, and I've talked to many people behind the scenes now, because I really, initially, I could have commercialized myself in this chapter of my life quite well and made a huge name for myself. I don't know, the mind control guy, but I really didn't want to do that. I've not been really public, not as much as I used to be, because I've always been in the solution orientated thing. Don't tell an audience just a problem without telling them a solution. So I don't want to come here and say, okay, we're at the end of civilization, and that's it. Goodbye, have a nice day. Rather than inform your audience, inform the people that will see this either live or taped or a year from now or 6 months from now, that this is the point where you can no longer be a spectator, period. Because everything that's in the news today, when this will be aired, is not relevant at all. It's all misdirection. And I say it's not relevant at all, not because it's not important, because it is important. But the behind the scenes, the powers that be want everybody distracted with the Epstein and the war and Gaza and Africa and all this other stuff. When I'm in touch with a lot of people in other countries, and I've informed them that this activity is taking place now. To summarize it and make it relevant for people that may be new to this, Palantir, everybody knows that name. They're aiding and abetting the end of. So what I'm saying, and I will have documents in the near future, is he's going to be sued by many people to begin the process of public dialogue, public policy, and your rights to your own brain. Now, there's already been laws that have been passed in the governor of California just passed the laws protecting somebody's individual brain and their personality, because now what's happening is the very symptoms of all this are happening because people are cloning their personalities, cloning their voices, and putting them into the internet. And this is all going to create, there's no law in anything in the world prepared to deal with this and what's going to happen. None.
So what do you think specifically, and then I want to kind of break it apart a little bit, but who's behind this, but what specifically do you think is going to happen when we talk about an extinction level event?
Extinction, when I'm referring to extinction, I'm saying the form in which your body is in now. You go walk around and you don't have any wires attached to you. You're bathing in electricity and EMF and all sorts of radio waves and everything else. But some people are more apt because their bodies are being used as energy chargers for the cloud if they've had the kill shot. Other people that are not, that don't have nanotechnology in their blood or on their skin, or they've ingested, they still can be transmitted. Synthetic technology or telepathy rather, their moods can be altered. They can induce modules of schizophrenia. So this is what's really going on. This is the end goal. So when the World Economic Forum came out and they're bragging about what they're going to do with everybody, whatever they're saying they're doing, they're probably 5 years ahead of it already. And they just tell off the tail parts of it. But when they said they were going to get rid of a large portion of the global population, they didn't exactly say all the details in which they're doing. People presume that means we're dead. They're going to kill people. And yes, they are doing it, but they're using all sorts of soft kill weaponry to do it, to make it so they don't look like they're doing it. And they get everybody involved to be aiding and abetting in that. But this is invisible. Can't see where it's coming.
So who's behind this specifically? We talk about MK Ultra. Is this part of the CIA?
No, real quick, bear with me. Let me show my battery is good. All right, we good there? All right, let's continue on. This thing's gonna die on me. Oh, it's a lock here.
And abetting in that. But this is invisible. Can't see where it's
So
coming
who's
from.
behind this specifically? We talk about MK Ultra. Is this part of the CIA MK Ultra program? Part of your investigations and whistleblowing?
Yeah, this is part of the corporations aiding and abetting in the computer industry, the cell phone industry, the cell tower industry, and the satellite industry. Because you need, in order to make all these programs work, you have to have your subjects be fully invested and almost cybernetic with all their devices. In other words, I mean, how many people do you see a day that have their face in their phone all day? Or at least 8 to 10 hours a day, all over the place. And you have people into cafes. So this has already altered cultural behavior and biology. It's already got biological impact anyway. We're not supposed to be sitting in cafes in front of phones for 12 hours in a row. Okay, so this is already happening and people are voluntarily complying and falling into this. So there's effects that are happening about this already. But in order for it to work, you have to have the legal compliance of the states and everybody that are putting up the towers. Because you might notice as well that if you're looking, and I don't know if you've covered this or not, there's people on the Hill right now that have testified in Congress about the use of neurostrike weapons on the brain in targeted individuals. This is a legitimate complaint because the first lawsuit in history against targeted individuals was filed by Anna Toledo, the attorney in Texas. This is related to all of this. Because remember, to perfect weaponry or perfect a system, you need to test it. And the systems and weapons are being tested on the public unbeknownst to them. Because it's coming through the electricity, because you're an electric being. Your heart rate and everything it's an electric composite. You are affected by electricity or the weather and so forth. When you're surrounded this in your house, on your phone, under 5G conditions, it's basically micro escalation to prepare you for 6G. When they put out the cell phones, we're basically training wheels for the public to prepare them for telepathy, because the effect of instantaneousness was altered by the user in the interface. In other words, initially this started off with a pager. You may remember a long time ago when people had pagers, and they'd always be looking in an anticipatory state, waiting for their pager to go off. And they'd always have it in their hand. And then after that came the mobile phone. And then the mobile phone turned into the small iPhone or Android that we see. And then the effect and the alteration of our central nervous system is related to that technology because it sped it all up and created the effect of instantaneousness. The effect of instantaneousness altered your cognition and altered how you interact with everybody in your universe. So they made stepping stones to get us to this part where we're at now, where the fusion of the brain, computer,
Right, which is gradualism.
and quantum will be put into one.
Let me back this up.
So they made stepping stones to get us to this part where we're at now, where the fusion of the brain, computer, AI, and quantum will be put into one. Now,
right,
that's why I came here.
And that's where you get your microchip. Bear with me. Let me make sure I pull out. Bear with me. I can open that part real quick. I got the sun hitting on. Let me do this. Con. It should be good now. Let me do this. Con. The water. It should be good now. Hey, the water, beloved Akwath, I appreciate that. The water. Hey, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Barakatham to the beloved Akiyam and Akwath on the comment board. All right, Shalom, Shalom to you and your beloved families, man. May Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai be with you. All right, now let's continue on here. Now, I was reading 2nd Ezra chapter 13. I'm not sure when the sound went out, but we'll just go. Right, 2nd Ezra 13, right, in verse 37, and it reads, Salakia, and this my son, Yahweh Shai, right, shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, bro. Okay? Nations as in plural. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is coming a gun for these heathen. All right? Because again, all these heathen are on the same team. They're working together cohesively in efforts to continue to come up against us and our power. Okay? They know they got to work together, okay, to keep Yasha Allah on the low. Okay? They know that. You see? They understand that. Psalms 83. Okay? Hey, but guess what? Yahweh Bashim Shai got a trick up his sleeve. And it's Yahweh Shai coming to stop these niggas, man. Let me read that again from the top and we'll wrap it up. 2nd Ezra 13 and 37. And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest, bro. All right? The Lord's going to burn these niggas up. That's how he's going to do them. All right? Via the second death, bro. All right? Which is going to come by the way of fire. And this is the reality. The Lord's going to come cleanse this place, bro. All right, the physician is going to come and cut off a long disease, man. And he today that is a king, tomorrow shall die, man. All right, so you see what Esau is doing. All right, you see what these heathen are pursuing. All right, and this leak and this whistleblower, James Martinez, let it all out, bro. All right, he let it all out. There's more to that video. I recommend you, Aki Aminakwa, go watch it. I pretty much used a portion of it that I could use through the Spirit. You know, the Lord willing, edify and, you know, warn. You know, your beloved Aki Aminakwa, give you the heads up. But we already know, you know, but prophecy, hey, prophecy speaking, man. And this is the reality. This is the time we're in. But hey, you already know, beloved Aki Aminakwa, Lord willing, you were edified. Lord willing, you were spiritually informed. And Lord willing, you were spiritually fed through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakah Chodash. Hey, double honors to the beloved elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, where I learned this 144% truth. Hey, Shalom.